Welcome guys to another tutorial of Designer. In this tutorial we are going to be learning the basics of 3D, which is pretty fun and simple to learn. So without any further ado, let's begin. So you know 2D, right? We have the x-axis and the y-axis, these two axes. The x-axis moves right and left and the y-axis moves up and down. So in 3D we have the third axis, which is the z-axis. In z-axis we get a depth, a field of depth. Let's check it using an example. Let's suppose we have a layer. Let's suppose we have an egg as a layer. Funny, I know. Okay, so we use the x-axis to move right and left, as said. We use the y-axis to move up and down, as said. But z-axis, when we increase it, it moves back. So when an object moves further from you, the size gets smaller. That's basic physics. But when it moves close to you, the size gets bigger. But now let's apply it to an effect or an composition. Okay, so now we just learned what is 3D. Now let's learn how to 3D. Okay, let's go ahead and create ourselves a new composition. We are using the default layout as always. New composition, let's name this main. And 920 by 1080, 30 fps or 10 seconds long, and let the background color be an off-white, or let's go with the black background. Good. Let's press on OK, and let's create ourselves a text. Let's name it as 1, or let's name this as step 1 or something. Step 1. Okay, and let's change the font because it's hard to see. Let's go with Montserrat or something. It's up to you. I'm just using it for tutorial purposes. And let's bring it over here. Okay, now what you can do is control plus delete this twice, and I did this to like step 2, and this step 3. Okay, so now we got 3 texts over here, and let's select them all, press on this icon over here. Okay, now if you can't see this, just click over here and this will appear. Okay, now let's change the position. Let's open position for all of them. Let's bring step 3. Okay, I'll just show it to you. Okay, let's bring this here. Okay, let me show you one thing. This is X, this is Y, and this is Z. So I'm changing it on the X axis at the moment. I want this to be over here, and I want the step 2 to be in the end. Okay, now I want them to be far apart from each other. So what we can do is drag this to about 5,000. So if you see it, it's really small over there. Let's make it 7,000 for now. 7,000. As far as the object goes, the smaller it gets. That's basic physics. Let's make this like 5,000. Let's make it 4,000. So we have this. Now what we want to do here is animate it. Let's make this 4,000. I made 400. Okay, now let's bring this a bit this side. Okay, now I want to animate it to see each and everything. What we can do is let's create a camera. So camera can move ahead, x-axis and the y-axis, but I don't want to use the camera. I will use this. I'll make a null object and parent the camera to the null object. Press on P. Make this 3D first. Press on P. It's the same thing, but I just prefer this. It's more easy to control and more clear. Okay, so now what we do is create a keyframe over here. Go to the 1 second mark. And let's first adjust this to the center if you want. Let's make 1 to the center like this. Okay, now let's go to the 1 second mark. Let's go around like over here, and a bit over here. Okay, and let's go to the 2 second mark, and let's push it down over here, and let's align it to the center. Now what is happening over here is that from this position, our camera is moving to this position. So we have created an environment in which step 1, step 2 and step 3, these 3 layers are staying, and with the camera we are just toggling to each and every step. So this is how we are doing it. Let the animation load. So it's like, so instead of that, what we can do is delete this keyframe and just bring it over here for a smooth movement. Let this load. So like what's happening exactly here is that from this position point, it's going to this position point. Now, let me tell you one thing. Usually you should not easy ease these keyframes because I'll show you, it might not look good. I'll show you why. So now let's go to step 3. Step 3. Okay. Okay, so let's let them render. Okay, so let's see the animation. This is what I was saying. Now, if I make these easies F9, let's see what happens. I'll show you the difference. I usually prefer them like not easy eased. You can go if you're looking for the easy ease effect, but it's up to you. I don't prefer. Okay, so if you see now is that when it comes over here, it stops over here because I'll show you the graph difference. If you see this, these are bumps, so like it will go far, it will go from slow to fast and then come down at 0 and then again go slow to fast. But whereas for not easy eased ones, it's straight. And I prefer this one. I like the smooth. So yeah, that's basics of 3D and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.